ahead of Saturday's preseason game today. Now, I think let's start with do we want to start with preseason or we just want to start with joint practice?
Well, the preseason game was today. I mean, it all kind of flows together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the joint practice, it's Josh Allen dominating a joint practice. And you won't see that in the preseason. I mean, he looked good in the first game, threw a touchdown pass. But in the joint practice, it's working against the ones. Josh talked about it. It is like, get the ball out, tons of plays. Dalton Kincaid looked good. You do want to see that because Cleveland is certainly a very competitive defense, even though they don't have Myles Garrett anymore. And by all accounts, too, the Bills won those matchups. And that's good to see.
I think somebody asked me, why do the Bills like joint practices so much? And I think one of the things is you get the competitive experience of going against a different team in a different look. You have different personnel that you're going against. And that's in itself, after going against the same players, you kind of not to know what to expect, but there's a familiarity there. And then also it is not a game. So you can pick and choose and kind of figure out, okay, here we want to go live this during this session, but we want to kind of taper it off here. We want to do this. So you can really tailor the experience, but you're still able to get so much out of it. So seeing Josh and the starters being out there and to see the work that they got in, I was like, they got exactly what they wanted out of Cleveland. And it was like, there's no way they're going to play on Saturday.
Yeah. My big takeaway was no wide receivers, no problem. Joe Brady was asked, how are you going to handle practices, functioning games? You still have to go through. Khalil Shakir is dealing with an unknown injury. Joe Brady, again, very coy, wasn't trying to be dismissive to the media when being asked about it, but was saying, guys, in 2 weeks, you'll get everything. I will tell you right now. I'm respecting the players. We don't have to say what they're dealing with. Khalil Shakir is dealing with an injury. We don't know what it is. We know that Keon Coleman is in a walking boot. So 2 out of the top 4 Bills wide receivers were not participating in this joint practice. And Joe kind of said he's not worried about Houston yet.
Right.
I thought the yet carried a lot of weight there as to what those injuries could be. He's still trying to focus on what they have to accomplish now. Obviously, it's another opportunity for guys to step up. And I thought the entire tight end room was the one that stepped up. Jackson Hawes may have found some offense.
Yeah.
Which that could be pretty important. We talk about if Dalton Kincaid can become a serviceable blocker and to be able to be out there in more balanced splits between running and passing plays. Well, if you could have Jackson Hawes catch 33 passes this year and a couple touchdowns, that's a bonus because now you're getting more offense out of your blocking specialist. And then to see Dalton Kincaid, been very open. I've been drinking the Kincaid Kool-Aid to see that play.
Kool-Aid.
The Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid.
It was sitting right there.
Somebody commented on another video about it. Kool-Aid.
I liked to see the fact that it was, Josh Palmer had a touchdown catch. That was nice. I don't necessarily know if I would say the Bills offense dominated because I did see some really good reps out of the Browns defense, which again is very good defense. They're dealing with some injuries in the secondary as well. But I liked seeing Kincaid get down the field. He kind of joked around. He had never been that open before in his life and that he almost dropped it because he was too open. But that he'd worked on some of those go routes with Josh in the summer. Again, I think he's one of the most important pieces for this Bills offense if they want to be more dynamic.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it was nice to see you saw them get the work that they needed. You saw some nice moments. You also saw the Browns, Casey Concepcion,
Denzel Boston.
How about Casey Concepcion talking a little trash?
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah.
I do love that. I'm not going to lie.
We loved him. He's a Rochester guy.
Yep.
5'8", as he told us at the combine. He's going to be, I think he's going to be really good. They got a receiver room. They don't have quarterbacks, but they got a receiver room. They got some dudes. Boston's a big kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was causing some havoc for Max early on in camp. Early on in the day, Max got the last laugh, breaking up that pass at the end that you probably saw on social media. Good to see that, but man, I've watched a lot of Denzel Boston tape from training camp.
Rome is right behind me.
He's gonna hear
He's
you.
hearing this. Rome
There is legit, like, if you look over Mike's
it's actually
right
in the shot,
shoulder,
just in the
it
shot.
is. Yeah, there's a tremendous glare on the screen, but there's a framed photo of Rome Odunze from the NFL Combine.
Yeah, there it is up top.
It should be really a heart-shaped frame for Dan. But
I just want like a little shelf behind me
with all of your loves,
your knickknacks,
just a fat head, and then my fat head.
I love that. All right, let's talk about the game.
What if I told you the Buffalo Bills just proved something that should have the entire AFC on alert? Seriously, what if the biggest takeaway from that trip to Cleveland wasn't the final score, wasn't preseason football, but the fact that Josh Allen and Joe Brady looked like they're already operating at regular season speed? That's the question nobody can ignore right now. And now, imagine adding a player like Tyreek Hill into that conversation. I'm not saying it's happening. There is no confirmed report linking Hill to Buffalo. But with injuries affecting the Bills' receiver room and Tyreek's name continuing to surface in league-wide discussions, it's impossible for Bills Mafia not to wonder what a move like that would look like. Even analysts discussing available veteran receivers have mentioned Hill among the high-profile names that teams could at least evaluate, although they also note the financial and practical obstacles to such a move. Now let's get to what actually happened on the field, because this is where things get exciting. Reports from the joint practice against Cleveland say Josh Allen was absolutely dealing. This wasn't 7-on-7 against backups. This was Buffalo's offense lining up against one of the NFL's toughest defensive units. And by almost every account, the Bills won those battles. That should fire up every Bills fan watching this, because when Josh Allen is making quick decisions, throwing with confidence, and completely trusting Joe Brady's system, this offense becomes a nightmare for defensive coordinators. That's exactly what we've been waiting to see. And here's another reason to get excited. Dalton Kincaid looked like the explosive weapon everyone hoped he would become. Stretching the field, creating separation, making plays down the seam, that's the version of Kincaid that can completely change this offense. Then Josh Palmer made plays. The tight ends contributed. Even with injuries keeping key receivers off the field, Buffalo still found answers. That's coaching, that's depth, that's culture. Joe Brady deserves a ton of credit because the offense never looked like it was searching for an identity. It looked organized, aggressive, and prepared. That's a massive difference compared to teams that panic when one or two starters aren't available. And yes, let's talk about Tyreek Hill for a second. Would adding one of the fastest receivers in NFL history instantly make this offense even more dangerous? Of course it would. Every defense would lose sleep trying to cover Tyreek Hill alongside Josh Allen's rocket arm. But Bills Mafia also has to be realistic. There are significant contract, roster, and competitive factors that make a move like that difficult, and there is no indication today that Buffalo is pursuing him. Still, it's fun to imagine because this offense already looks explosive without him. That's the scary part for the rest of the AFC. Josh Allen looks locked in. Joe Brady looks more comfortable than ever calling this offense. Dalton Kincaid appears ready for a breakout season. The offensive rhythm is there, the confidence is there, the chemistry is building every single day. If this is what Buffalo looks like before Week 1, imagine what this group could become once everyone is healthy. That's why I keep saying don't overreact to preseason scores. React to execution, react to timing, react to confidence. Those are the things that carry into January football. And from everything we've seen, the Buffalo Bills are building something that looks ready to compete with anybody in the league. Bills Mafia, now I want to hear from you. If there were any realistic chance to bring Tyreek Hill to Buffalo, would you make that move, or would you trust the receivers already on this roster? Drop your opinion in the comments because this debate is going to be incredible. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and let's keep riding together because the road to the Super Bowl is just getting started. Go Bills!